So this is our scholarships and financial aid workshop. And what we'll be covering today is the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, where you can find scholarships, the University of Utah scholarship application system, and application tips, and a question and answer session. So for the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, it must be submitted every year if you're interested in federal aid or some of our state grants. For this upcoming FAFSA, you'll use 2020 taxes for the 2022-23 FAFSA, and we advise using the data retrieval tool to import you and your parents' tax information into the FAFSA. And FAFSA on the web is at fafsa.gov, or you can use the My Student Aid app, which is available on Android and Apple devices. And if you need assistance with the FAFSA, our staff can help you either virtually or in person. And also there's the FAFSA help number 1-800-433-3243, or you can use some of the help center on the FAFSA as well. They have a really great help section. So your next steps for financial aid, once you submit your FAFSA, we advise monitoring your CIS account and your UMail as well, and respond to those requests promptly. So we expect to load the 22-23 FAFSAs in the next few months, and you'll see those notifications go to your UMail, and if we need anything, we'll let you know. And if you've been selected for verification, make sure to complete that process. And we will, as I said, we'll let you know what documents you need to submit, or any documents. And once you've completed your file, we'll package you with financial aid sometime this spring semester, and you'll be able to accept and decline your offers in CIS as well. And if you've never accepted federal student loans, make sure to complete a master promissory note, MPN, and entrance counseling. And we will also inform you through your UMail if you need to do those steps. So this is what your CIS page looks like. You'll log in, make sure to click your financial aid tile with the piggy bank. And this is basically where you'll complete your tasks in CIS. And once you go to the financial aid page, you can review your financial aid status, and make sure to select the appropriate age year. Like for this semester, you'll see, like later on, like in spring, you'll see two different aid years available. So make sure to just select the appropriate age year when you're reviewing your file. And you can do your award letter, and there's financial need analysis and your shopping sheet as well. So the types of aid from the FAFSA: federal grants, federal, state, and institutional. So with federal grants, the most common one is the federal Pell Grant, and then there's the federal SEOG grant, which is a supplemental educational opportunity grant, and some of the smaller state grants and institutional grants. And then with federal work study, that is basically, if you're offered federal work study, you do not get those funds up front. You earn those funds in a work study position on campus, and basically you apply and go through the hiring process here at the U. So the question that just came in, what is the current deadline for the FAFSA? So we have a priority date of February 1st for priority financial aid, and that's for some of our smaller grants and need-based scholarships. However, you can complete the FAFSA pretty much throughout the academic year. So for the 22-23 FAFSA, it's like June. You have up until, like, I think June 30th. I'm trying to think, is it 2023? I think, for that deadline. So at the U, so it's the fall semester, spring semester, and summer semester will fall under 22-23. And then federal direct loans, there's subsidized and unsubsidized. So subsidized means once you accept that loan and it disperses to you, it will not accrue interest while you're attending school. And then unsubsidized loans is the opposite, is once you accept it and it disperses to you, the interest will start accruing. And there's a fixed interest rate of 3.73% for undergraduate and 5.28% for graduate loans. And where to find scholarships. So for the University of Utah Resources, we have a scholarship application system. It's utah.academicworks.com. And this is University of Utah Departments and Colleges, academic need-based and diversity scholarships. So you can start going on there now and start filling out your general application. And I'll get to that in a second. So for some of the scholarships you'll see on there right now, this is not all the scholarships you'll see on there. So the School of Dance Scholarship is deadline's December 1st. Communication undergraduate scholarships is January 10th. The Foreign Language and Area Studies, or FLAS scholarships, is, of course, I have a window in the way, January 28th. And then the Miller Enrichment Scholarship, which is a really great scholarship opportunity, need-based scholarship. It's the deadline for that is January 31st. And then the Stephenson's Canon Scholarship is January 31st as well. So external scholarships, we also have these listed on our website. If you go to financialaid.utah.edu, and if you go to the light bulb icon, and this is our scholarship resources for current students. So you can find scholarships like search sites and scholarships sorted by deadline. So you can see this here, it's updated frequently with the different opportunities available. Local opportunities, you can look at through your employer or your parents' employer. Some of the most common employers we see that offer scholarships is the Larry H. Miller Corporation, Starbucks, UPS, Adobe, but again, this is not all inclusive of what's available, so just check in with your employer. And your church or your parents' church, professional affiliations, ethnic foundations, and charities and nonprofits. And there's also state and national opportunities, the Community Foundation of Utah, FastWeb, Chegg.com, Peterson's, College Resource Network, scholarships.com, and scholarshipamerica.com. These are probably the most common ones we see out there, but pretty much all these links are on our website as well, if you would like a direct link to them. So just to get into more about our scholarship application system. So this is our one application. So you'll go to utah.academicworks.com, sign in at the top, you'll sign in with your UID and your CIS, basically your CIS credentials. And once you log in, you'll complete a general application. And once you complete that application, there might be an additional application depending on which college you're in, like the Eccles School of Business or College of Engineering are pretty good examples of the colleges that have additional applications. And then once you complete that, complete the general application, actually, I'll just backtrack a little bit. So also there's a references and a reviewer. So if the scholarship requests like a letter of recommendation, your reference will log in through a different way. Just make sure they select the right option at the top here. And then once you've submitted your general application, you'll kind of keep track of what's been submitted and if there's any additional steps that need to be taken. And you'll see the recommended opportunities as well. So based on what you've submitted in your general application, you might, there's some opportunities. A good example is the Marching Band Scholarship, which is available to all majors. And you might be wondering, is like, why am I getting this opportunity? That's why it's open to all majors. So just take a look at all those opportunities and see what's available and what you'd like to apply for. And I mentioned the references and reviewers as well, and they have a separate login screen. Application tips kind of help you with your application process. So helpful hints, take the time to search and apply, be organized and find a system that works for you, apply for everything you are eligible for, and make sure to keep a resume on hand. because some applications do require a resume, and our Career and Professional Development Center here in the Student Services Building, room 350, that they have a really great resources to help you with your resume and develop that, and they can edit and give you suggestions. And we advise checking out their website as well. I believe they continue to have virtual appointments. And be involved on campus or off campus through clubs, organizations, causes, or employment. The reason being is that you'll make connections and you'll network with people, and they'll know your ability and your work ethic. And as I said, these mentors can write you letters of recommendation and references for future employment as well. And a really good tip here is to write thank you notes to those individuals that provide you any connections or references for your scholarships. Just thank them for their time, and they'll keep you in mind for future opportunities, and they might be able to recommend other scholarships or maybe even work opportunities in the future. So how to talk about yourself and write personal statements. Follow the guidelines in the scholarship notification. Typically there's like a length word requirement. So make sure you follow that closely, and what's required to submit. Some will require you to submit electronically or paper. Just make sure you're following those guidelines. Read and answer each question fully. Some questions have multiple parts, so make sure you're answering each of those parts of the question. And write with conviction and passion. Make sure you know your audience and who you're talking to, and talk about your background, where you came from, what you're currently doing, and like what you want to do in the future. And talk about your accomplishments. Make sure you're bragging about yourself. Don't be shy about that. If you've earned any awards or scholarships or accomplished anything at work, like any accolades, make sure you talk about that, and talk about why the scholarship organization opportunity matters to you. And most importantly, once you've gone through the essay and your application, make sure somebody reviews your work. Proofread, proofread, proofread multiple times. Ask like a trusted friend and other folks, but probably the most important one is that our writing center is probably the best place to go for writing assistance. The writing tutors, they're really great. They're in the Marriott Library, room 2701. They have multiple ways they can meet with you, either online, in person, or asynchronous written support. They're very familiar with scholarship essays, and the tutors come from various backgrounds and majors. And you can schedule an appointment with them at writingcenter.utah.edu. And other types of financial aid are income share agreement program, ISA, Invest in You. Just to touch on this, undergraduate student at the University of Utah must be within 64 hours of completing a degree, US citizen or permanent resident, 18 years or older at the time of contract execution. You must meet satisfactory academic progress towards your degree as defined by the University of Utah, and those guidelines are listed on our website. And we encourage students to enroll full-time, 12 plus credit hours, and students can receive $3,000 to $10,000. So you can read more about this at isa.utah.edu. And we're getting close to the end. So our office is here to help you. We have counselors here that can help you file the FAFSA, research the different scholarships out there. We can help you navigate every step of the way and answering general questions. We're pretty well versed in the tuition payment options. And the next bullet point, super important. So if you or your family has experienced any kind of layoff, reduction of income, please talk to us. It could, you could be able to do like a reduction of the income appeal, and we can talk you through those steps. And we have virtual walk-in appointments. So it's basically a virtual chat on our website. So you go to financialaid.utah.edu, click the clipboard icon where it says chat, counselor chat, and it will take you to a page and list who's available online. You just knock on the door and it opens up a chat. And there's always an option to virtually do like a video chat with them as well. It's up to you. And we've reached the end of our presentation. So you can find us in Student Services Building Room 105. Financialaid.utah.edu is our website. Financialaid.utah.edu is our website, our email address. And then we're available on all major social media platforms.